Hi there, welcome to the Kingdom Bank Growth Hub Open Talk series, where we purpose to empower you, the entrepreneur, by bringing experts to share with you information to take your business to the next level. I'm your host, Christine Casina. On today's conversation, we are going to talk about leasing. What's the difference of buying your own equipment and leasing equipment? Which one is better? Which one has more benefits, more risk? But what we'll focus on today is why leasing is an option when it comes to asset acquisition. I'm joined by Kennedy Karanja, head of leasing here at Kingdom Bank. Ken, the only thing I think about when it comes to leasing buildings comes automatically to most of us, because when it comes to leasing, umechukua lease hii buildings. It's conversations that we have. But when you're thinking about equipment, maybe for people who run that kind of business, maybe they need motor vehicles or heavy equipment, they then think about leasing.
You don't have to think of leasing as big assets. We can come down to anything that you'd want to lease, including our furniture at home and in the office, computers, cameras, a bakery for someone who's in the bakery business.
So the equipment for baking.
Any equipment that you might be, you'd want to use in your business can be leased to you. So it's just not buildings and roads and these big things that everybody thinks about. It can be broken down to any equipment that you would want to run your business.
Right.
Yes.
So as a business owner, or as business owners, what you're trying to get us to see is beyond buying, we also have the option of simply leasing. And we don't have to be at that major league level for us to consider leasing as an option. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Most people in businesses tie so much capital in acquiring assets. For example, if you are in, let's say, a bakery business where your business is to make bread, you don't have to invest all your money in buying ovens and, sieves and the mixtures, Just let that become someone else's problem, because your main problem is making bread and selling bread. Not having equipment lying in your bakery, for example, that you have to maintain once in a while.
That's a different headache.
It's a different headache. Let someone else take that headache away from you. Pay a premium and then continue with your business. It makes more sense. Don't tie your capital in buying assets while you can put your capital in buying, for example, flour and sugar and water and milk and even paying your staff.
Let's put it in context. For example, I'm a videographer or photographer.
Yes.
This equipment that I need to use in whichever shoot at a particular time. Vis-a-vis leasing this equipment, or say even if I have my own equipment, and then I lease them out, say, to other upcoming videographers or photographers, I can just imagine the risk of theft, the risk of them being damaged. There's so much risk in between.
That's true.
Is that something I'd want to go into, for example?
It's a good thing you brought that question, because I think the market, the world is changing and everything is going to digital, and you find young entrepreneurs trying to get into this space. But again, it's capital intensive. I think one camera, a good camera would go
expensive.
Let's say even the cheapest you'd have to fork about 250,000 for a very good camera.
Not easy money.
And it's not easy money and on top of the 250,000, you need wires, cables, you need a lot of airtime, you need to move around, you need to go to where the events are. How about I told you I would get you the camera? Then your 250,000, for example, if you had it, I would come and tell you, I'll give you the camera. But your 250,000, use it for other, other related services that go hand in hand with your production. Moving around is a cost. If you need to hire more staff or someone to help you in whatever event that you're covering, you will need to pay them. So if you have that 250 and put it in that, and let me take a portion of the 250 to cover for the camera, as you 250 covers for other things.
So you're able to spread it out.
You're able to spread it out, the 250, and also have some money to run your business. So that is the space we are getting into. That's what we want people to understand, that you don't have to, and especially if you're in business, you don't have to own everything that makes you money. And in a business, you'd want to make more profit as opposed to having assets that lie in your book that you have to cater for depreciation. Maintenance is a very big cost. I don't know if even in your small house, running that house, the maintenance cost is a cost by itself. So for companies, the liabilities are too many.
Okay. What are the options which are there?
Christine, I would tackle this. Let's start by, there are two different leases. There's one that we call an operating lease, and we have a finance lease. So an operating lease is where us as a leasing company, we own the asset.
Right.
Then we give it to you for consumption purposes. And under operating lease, we can break it down into three. One is a wet lease, where we cater for everything. Think about it as when you walk into a hotel and ask for a cup of tea. You don't ask how much the tea leaf was, how much the sugar was, how much the cup is. You're just given a premium that this tea will cost you X amount of money. So the wet lease is sort of like that. You come to me and tell me I need a car. So I'll give you a premium. If you're comfortable paying it, I will cater for insurance, maintenance, service, and even the courtesy car. That's when you're looking for motor vehicles. But other assets lie in the same category. Then you have a partial wet lease. This is where now we agree. You will cater for the insurance, and I will cater for this. It's a bit risky.
Why is it called a wet list?
There's wet and dry. It's just a definition that was given to just differentiate the leases. For a dry lease is where we give you the asset, you maintain the asset, you insure it, and we just have the money for whatever it is we've leased to you. But also it's also risky because you get the headache of maintaining again, insurance, and we have to keep calling and asking how is our asset doing. It's a headache on your side which you want to take off from you. We talked about the finance lease. A finance lease is where now we come on the table and you tell me, Ken, I have 200,000 and I want a car that's about $1 million. How can you finance the 800? So that's what we call a finance lease. Basically is where we both put our money into acquiring the asset. But it's jointly registered between you and the leasing company. Okay. It's that simple. It's that simple.
If you could tell us who is leasing for, there could be somebody who's watching, they're thinking, hii ni watu wenye wanajenga mabarabara na ni magari kadhaa, watu wenye wako na mapesa.
I know. Leasing is for everyone, Christine.
Really?
Leasing is for even a startup. If you're starting up your company and you can show us how you want to make your money, you can give us projections on this is the business that I want to start and this is the projections on how I'll make my money. You only need to show us how you intend to make your money or how you make your money. Then let us plug into that, give you whatever you need to make that money. So leasing is for basically anyone.
And could be for anything.
For anything.
Camera, bakery equipment. What else?
We've done fixtures I have customers have done fixtures for office fixtures and tables. You have
furniture. You say
furniture. You have furniture, laptops, anything.
If you are 100% honest with us, which you look like a very honest man, by the way.
Thank you.
What are the risks? Like 1, 2, 3 when it comes to leasing that me, the leasee, need to be aware about? What are the risks to leasing?
Christine, when we get into a lease, there are things we consider for both the leasing company and the lessor. Yeah. So ability to pay is one which we have to look and think about at the beginning of the lease and how it will affect the lease all the way to the end of the lease. So I would consider that as one of the major risk when it goes to the customers, their ability to make money over the period of the lease. Number two,
also the risk as a business owner I need to consider is my ability to pay for
the asset over the period of time. So in your planning, you ought to have looked at the business and the continuity of the business for the next 4-5 years. You should have projections of where you would want your company to be or where you'd want your business to be. Then that will answer the question of the risk of default or the risk of not being able to pay.
And what happens?
Yes.
if anything was to happen, and I default, I mean the pandemic has happened, so many things have happened, the business landscape has changed.
In fact, that is my second point. There's also the environmental issues that may come up during the lease. Pandemics, for example, political unrest and such things.
Right.
At that point, depending on what the environment dictates, we'd sit down and renegotiate.
Right.
We would come down and look at things like restructures and how to support your business. Because remember, we are not here we're just here to support the business. We are here to give you an edge over the industry that you're in. And if leasing is the way, you just get into it, and then we'll sit on the table. These are the reasons why I'm not able to pay. How can I go around this? Including even taking the asset and giving you an asset that is working for the you can afford at that time.
Okay.
So there are options that we will sit down and discuss at that point.
On that note, ladies and gentlemen, that was Ken Karanja, Head of Leasing here at Kingdom Bank. And as he has mentioned, focus on your core business. Let them handle the leasing. You don't have to always own the equipment in your name. Focus on your key business. Let them get the asset for you. If there's any other topic you'd like us to cover, please share in the comment section. Let us know what you thought about this particular topic of leasing, or if there's anything else you'd want to ask, we'd be happy to get in touch with you and answer you some more. Once again, thank you so much for watching. See you next time.